The modern fan experience is becoming increasingly multidimensional and interactive. Mass media, the internet in particular, have enabled fans to actively participate in and contribute to fan discourse. Social media networks enable individuals to connect with each other and build online communities based on shared fandom. Fan culture used to be transmitted orally and in person. Before the rise of the internet and other modern communication technologies, fans would meet to discuss their common interests in public spaces. With the rise of the internet, fans gained access to a virtual space. Unlike the traditional forms of social interaction, this new access to virtual spaces for fan discourse has generated a dramatically different capacity for fans to interact socially. In effect, the internet and the social media tools that flowed from its creation have facilitated the establishment of a virtual center for dialogue, one that was independent from dominant media, which allows fans to post, gather, and share information about their favorite things. Physical location is becoming less and less significant with the advancement of social media and other communication technologies. Marshall McLuhan calls this the global village. The internet, social media in particular, has created a virtual space, which facilitates social connection, interaction, and community building based on shared fandom and common interests. In Textual Poachers, Television Fans, and Participatory Culture, Henry Jenkins, who notes that he himself is a fan as well as an academic, engages with fans and explicates fan culture as a response to mass media. Fans, he argues, are not passive consumers. Rather, they are active creators. He uses de Certeau's concept of textual poaching to inform fans' cultural production. Fans construct their cultural and social identity through borrowing and inflecting mass culture images, articulating concerns which often go unvoiced in the dominant media, he says. East Vancouver, also known as EastVan, has been establishing a strong community identity, constantly attracting flocks of people. Their community is often characterized by their active ethnic communities, vibrant artistic presence, politically engaged youth, as well as their vocal sexual orientation and gender identity groups. Communication technology has played a pivotal role in connecting these individuals living in the East Vancouver neighborhood, as well as fans of the neighborhood. On March 23rd, we attended the East Vancouver Volume 2 Tweet Up meeting at Our Town Cafe. The event was organized by AJ Puri and Cindy Hunter. We interviewed 3 subjects at the event, including the fan club's organizers and one of the attendees. Once we had collected and analyzed our qualitative ethnographic data, we created an online survey to collect general public and East Van fans' opinions about East Vancouver's community building project. We used a semi-random sampling strategy, collecting data from Tweet Up participants and East Vancouver locals who didn't attend the event, as well as the general public. Our survey was circulated by the Tweet Up organizers, SFU, on Craigslist, and through our own personal networks. For our study, we defined East Van as the geographic space between Main Street and Boundary Road. It is also bordered to the north by Burrard Inlet and to the south by Fraser. With this in mind, our research group sought to explore how the use of the social media bridges between the online and offline, contributing to community building in East Vancouver. We were concerned with 3 central areas of study. First, why do people attend East Van tweet-ups or offline community meetings? What do individuals gain out of attending these meetings? In other words, what is perceived benefit or gain? Second, why has East Van and its surrounding culture surged in popularity? And third, how do people become involved with the East Van community? Do they identify themselves as fans of East Van, and why? And finally, what are their attitudes towards the use of social media as a virtual tool for community building? We began our research through a qualitative lens at the Tweet Up event. First, we began with ethnographic participant observation of the event. We observed networking as people were mingling at the event before, during, and throughout. The main attribute of the attendees can be summed up by the constant connection to social media through their smartphones. In addition, the majority of attendees displayed strong social skills. Then, we conducted on-camera interviews with 2 organizers, AJ and Cindy, and 1 attendee, Dennis. Cindy is Yelp Vancouver's community manager.
I would marry East Van. I love East Van.
Dennis works at a marketing agency.
I was born and raised in East Van, so I've lived in East Van my whole life.
Jay is a non-profit organizer.
My Twitter handle is Masala Puri, so you can find me on Twitterville.
The interviews conducted allowed us to access the primary gatekeepers of Tweet Up, a community building event. This helped us in our quantitative stage as AJ posted our survey on the Twitter page and Dennis tweeted our survey. Our survey for this study, we defined a fan as someone who is loyal, committed, actively involved, and identifies themselves with someone or something. As demonstrated from the Tweet Up event, fans of East Van culture and community are actively involved in creating content online and offline in virtual and concrete spaces. Our survey sample size consisted of 129 respondents. The majority of responders were between the ages of 18 to 24. 31% were male, 68.2% were female, and 0.8% were noted as other. The top 3 definitions of fan collected from the survey relate to being a supporter, having adoration and interest of something or someone. When we asked people why they identify themselves as fans of East Vancouver, the top 3 responses were that it was a diverse community, that it was their hometown, that there was a strong sense of community in the area.
The best ethnic hole in the walls. I love the food in East Van. I also love that it feels more like a small town.
I feel like East Vancouver is a place for artists, musicians, people who work independently, people who work for government, working class, all mishmash of people come together and get to know each other and build community. And so East Vancouver for me is that sense of community, really strong.
They also identified several reasons why they like East Van. A significant percentage, 19.2% of people, answered that the variety of uniqueness of small businesses is what they like most about East Van.
Everything about it is so diverse, like even about like the food. If you go down, up and down East, Main Street or Commercial, there's so many different things to do.
Based on their understandings of East Vancouver, our survey also asked both East Van fans and non-fans whether and how much they are attached to the East Van community. The result indicated that a significant 42.2% of the East Van fans feel strongly attached to the community, whereas a significant 23.4% of the non-East Van fans felt that they were not attached to the community at all. From a geographical point of view, within East Vancouver, Mount Pleasant residents answered the highest that they are strongly attached to the community, followed by Grandview, Woodland, and Sunset. On the other hand, 24.9% of respondents disliked East Van for its environment, which they described as run down, carried negative energy, and becoming gentrified. We defined environment as the surroundings or conditions in which a person lives or operates in. A significant 56.2% of respondents identified that they were engaged with the community. Regardless of their self-identification of fan or not, the majority of respondents answered that a significant 62% of East Van fans have never attended any of the Tweet Up meetings. We asked respondents what they thought of the phrase social networks build real-life communities. 57.9%, more than half, supported the statement, and the top 4 reasons were 12.7% saw social media as a networking and friendship platform. 12.7% also saw social media as an aid in building real-life relationships. 11.7% saw social media as a community platform, and 8.1% saw social media as a way to encourage involvement. Interestingly, we found that people had positive attitudes towards the statement, social media is a real-life community builder, although the majority of East Van fans do not use social media to engage in the East Van community. They do use social media, but they didn't feel it extended to the offline community. The results of our study seem to indicate that the ethnic community populations play a major role in the attachment to the East Vancouver community. In his critique of Hegel's philosophy of right, Karl Marx looks at why individuals become fans or active followers of things, specifically in reference to religion, which he calls the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. He says that the reason religion gains such a massive following is because it works to make people feel complete, or acts as a substitute for completeness in the absence of meaning. Marx says that people attach themselves to and become fans of certain things to fill a void in their life. He argues that in mass society, people don't have much connection to anything. so they need to attach themselves to something to gain some sort of meaning in their life. If we were able to restructure our research for further study, we would have focused more on the role of ethnic community building, which would most likely have provided richer data and contribute to a greater understanding of the characteristics that have led to the rise in popularity of East Van.